friends in Indonesia, welcome to Singapore. My name's PS and I'm going to be your guide for today. We are now in Little India, one of Singapore's most vibrant districts. From the culture to the street food, this is one neighbourhood you do not want to miss when you're in the city. So in this tour, I'm going to show you my top 8 places in Little India where you can find some really cool back streets with hidden street art. So come, let's go! Number 1. Right through Racecourse Road by Jackson Zoo. This long mural where I am now shows a horse galloping through a market in a nod to the activities that once surrounded the former racecourse. Before Little India became the heart of the Indian community in Singapore, it was very much a residential enclave for the Europeans, following the completion of a racecourse approximately 200 years ago. The racecourse became a focal point for this community where they met and mingled. Completed in 2016, this mural was a community effort between the artist Jackson Su and members of the public, including migrant workers in the area, as well as students and teachers from a local school. At the same time as when this was a European enclave, cattle trading in Little India began to blossom due to its location along the Serangoon River. Cattle was traded as they were sources of milk and meat for the various communities in Singapore. They were also used to pull bullock carts and as a means of transportation. Number 2. Cattle Land 2 by Eunice Lim. This whimsical painting of cows exploring Little India is sure to catch your eye. This rainbow colour artwork reminds us of the area's cattle trading past. This gives us a sense of the beginnings of Little India, where cattle was the driving force of Little India's economy. The cattle here are depicted as being childlike, having fun, living in harmony with people. Each head of cattle represents each and every one of us as individuals with unique culture and historical roots. As cattle trading was a mostly Indian trade, the Indian community continued to grow and the demand for goods and services took off. To serve the spiritual needs of the community, mosques and Hindu temples were built. Buffalo Road is really known for the many flower garland makers around. Garlands are deeply rooted in Indian culture. Indian flower garlands are a symbol of spirituality, marriage and honour. On religious days, ladies adorn their hair with flowers. In religious worship, flower garlands are used as a symbol of respect and are frequently used to adorn the statues of their deities. It is believed that each god has his or own favourite flower and using them will bestow them favour. Alright, so now we're here at one of the flower garland shops. I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Karthi. Mr. Karthi, manages this place. I'm just going to ask him some questions about the flower garlands. So Mr. Karthi, can you tell me more about these flower garlands? Like how long does it take to make maybe a garland?
Just 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. Wow, 10 minutes. That's really quite fast. Yeah. This garland, how much will it cost?
Just $10.
$10? Oh, okay. I see. Alright, thanks a lot, Mr. Karthi.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time together. So I hope that you have a happy new year and may you have a good business.
Yeah, thank you.
Next up, Madame Mongria, Jasmine of the City by Nadia Alsagoff. Here on this very tight alleyway, there is a very longish artwork featuring one of the flowers that we just saw. Let's take a look. Jasmine is regarded as the most beautiful and fragrant of India's native flowers. The jasmine flowers are often used to honour gods and goddesses because the whiteness of the jasmine is symbolic for purity, for both the deity and forgiveness for the worshipper. Let me show you another type of art in Little India, this time in the form of body art. Henna has its origins from ancient India, in which decorative designs are created on a person using a paste created from the powdered dry leaves of the henna plant. Today, it is still a popular form of body art among the women of the Indian subcontinent, Africa, Middle East and Asia. Henna is customary in Indian weddings, though brides usually get it all the way up their arms and legs. The ladies will draw your desired design on your hands And once that is done, let the henna dry. Henna usually lasts for about a week before they fade away. Alright, so this is it. I'm just finished. It took me less than 10 minutes. I'm here with my friend. She's incredibly talented and she's done this really beautiful design for me. So what's going to happen next is that I'm going to just keep this on for about half to 1 hour, and then I'll just scrape the dried henna off. It's going to last me a couple of days to a week. But yeah, so this is so cool. I really love this design. Ta-da! Number 4. Traditional Traits of Little India by Saiful. This mural tells the tale of the parrot astrologers, dhobies, also known as the washermen, and the many traders and merchants who settled in the area years ago. Some of these traits, like the dhobies and the milkmen, no longer exist. Some of them, like the flower garland makers, still flourish in the neighbourhood. We are now passing by Tekka Market. It is part wet market, part food centre, part shopping mall. Tekka Market is one of Singapore's largest local markets, selling an incredible array of produce and rare ingredients. Here you can find a massive selection of fresh produce organised by types of food. My favourite part about visiting such local markets is the opportunity to be able to talk to the vendors and ask them about their products and how they prepare the various dishes. This market also has a cooked food area where you can try some of the incredible foods of Singapore. Many of the stalls in this market are Muslim friendly and you can indulge in the local halal culinary delicacies. Alright! Oh, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling hungry already. So now we're having a break. I'm going to take eat some food of the market and I'll explain to you what we have. So this is what I showed you just now, the teh tarik. So it's a specialty of this market, pulled tea. And you see this little froth on top. So I call this the Singapore cappuccino or tea chino. So I'm just going to take a sip. Oh, this is really good. I'm going to have this now. This is what we call the rojak. Rojak really means mix. And this rojak really reflects the cultural melting pot of Singapore. Because what we have is that we have food from the various communities. Let me explain to you, alright? So we have the potatoes. Yep, these potatoes came from the Europeans. And then we also have the tempeh, you know. So tempeh, chopped into small slices. And then the next one, tofu. The tofu comes from the Chinese community. Yeah, and the last one we have is pakora. So pakora comes from the Indian community. So really very much think of it like a fried fritter. And all this reflects the major ethnic communities of Singapore, the Chinese, the Malays, the Indians and the Europeans. So all this really mixed together, cut into bite-sized pieces. So how do you eat this? You take your favorite food or what you want to eat. Then you're just going to dip this into this sauce. This is a sweet peanut sauce. And then you just dip it in like this. Okay, and then you eat it. Now this rojak typically is eaten like a snack. So in between meals, when you're feeling a bit hungry, you just come to one of these stalls, pick out your favorite food, and then she'll prepare it for you into these bite-sized pieces. And they'll give you this sauce. This sauce that we see here is a family recipe. They've been doing this for the last 30-40 years and it's just incredible. Oh, now I'm going to eat more of this, and you're just, when you come to Singapore, you just got to try this. In particular, I recommend this stall. This stall is one of the best in the city. Once you're done with this food, we're going to check out more murals. Okay, let's go. Alright, number 5, Village Curry by Yip Yew Chong. Keep your eyes open as this mural is part of an outdoor dining area. Look for this shop selling authentic Indian food such as dosa, prata, chapati and biryani. These foods are some of the traditional offerings from both North and South India. One of my favorite breakfasts in the neighborhood will be the roti prata. This South Indian flatbread is crispy and flaky on the outside but soft on the inside. It is traditionally served with a dipping sauce of curry. Talking about this makes me hungry already. In this mural, you can look out to see scenes of India, from traditional cattle farming to the Taj Mahal. Number 6, we have Kataka dance by Didier Jabba Matthew. Dance is an ancient and celebrated cultural tradition in India. The presence of Indian dancers, theatres and performing arts started approximately 100 years ago. While Indian dances in Singapore are performed at festivals or taught at art schools or art groups, you can see one being performed on the streets. The choice of vivid colours used throughout the mural perfectly illustrates the graceful movement of Kataka. Each detail of this masterpiece is just incredible. Famed Colombian street artist and graffiti connoisseur Didier Matthew, who works under the moniker Jabba, is the creative mind behind this mural. We have seen a lot of things relating to Indian culture in Little India. It wasn't just the cattle and rattan industry that took place here. This neighbourhood was also an industrial zone where there were candy and rubber factories owned by the Chinese who lived in the neighbourhood. Here, we see one of the last remaining examples of a historic villa. Built in the 1900s, this former house of Tan Teck Nia is the last surviving Chinese villa in Little India. Tan Teck Nia was a Tauke, also known as a Chinese businessman of good standing, who owned several sweet-making factories along Serangoon Road that used sugarcane to produce sweets. This former house of Tan Teck Nia has 8 rooms. The second story overhangs the first to create what we call a 5-foot way, a 5 feet wide covered pedestrian walkway where there was once an entrance portico. The Pintu Pagar, or we call it a swinging wooden half doors, is richly carved, and the front room of the house is full of wall scrolls. Over the entrance door is a gilded nameplate with calligraphic inscription Xiu Song, really very much a Mandarin term for elegant pine. To the Chinese, pine denotes endurance and expresses their aspirations. Many believe that Tan built the house for his wife and that the inscription referred to her. As we walk towards our next mural, let's have a quick look at one of Singapore's oldest Hindu temple, Sri Veera Kaliamman Temple. This temple was built approximately 100 years ago and dedicated to Goddess Veera Kaliamman, or Goddess Kali, who is also the destroyer of evil in Hindu mythology. Hindus believe that she destroys ignorance and protects her devotees by maintaining world order. Many pioneering Indian settlers here turned to her for a sense of security in a foreign land. They also asked the goddess for help in getting promotions or to be free from illnesses, while barren women sought her help to regain their fertility. So our next street art is very closely tied to Hinduism. So let's go take a look. Number 7, we have Mayura by Boon. The peacock, also known as Mayura in Sanskrit, is the national bird of India. Peacocks appear in a lot of Indian stories as a representation of time. In addition, it is believed that many people keep peacock feathers in their homes as it brings good luck and prosperity. Legend has it that Mayura was created from the feathers of Garuda, a semi-divine mythical bird of Hindu mythology. It is also a vehicle to some of the supreme gods of Hinduism and referred to in a number of Hindu scriptures. Number 8, Daily Delivery by Didier Jabba Matthew. Our last mural depicts a fictional narrative of the future in Little India. The man carrying tiffins, an item used in the past, is going about his daily duties. However, you can see the vehicles are now hovering above the ground. These elements come together as a juxtaposition of tradition and modernism in Little India. This piece pays homage to the area's traditional tiffin businesses with the old-school tiffin man juxtaposed with recycled car models. The artist's vision of how sustainable transport will come to be. It's been such a great day coming here, immersing in the culture and the vibrancy of the area. So there you go, these are just some of my favourite street art spots of the neighbourhood. I hope you enjoyed this virtual tour as much as I did sharing it with you. I just want to thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions about Singapore or about your upcoming Singapore travels, do reach out to us on our website or via email. We hope to see you in person on one of our tours soon. Bye!